And you're gone.
No, we're leaving it in. Welcome back to the BurlyFishing podcast, the not live edition. And as you can tell, it goes a lot smoother when we're live for some reason. We can't even do a countdown anymore. But hey, guys, we're here on the week of American Thanksgiving. We're gonna be hanging out, maybe with some families. We got some vacation time. Whatever we're gonna do, we're gonna spend some time away, and we won't be live at our normal time. But you might be watching this Thursday night, 8 p.m. This isn't live, so there's no chat. We're not here, but feel free to participate any way you want to. Today, we're talking about what do you do when fishing gets tough? Specifically, bites been off here in Michigan for us lately. So we've got water temps dropping just like crazy, crazy fronts moving all over the place. It's snowing, it's not snowing, all sorts of stuff is happening. And you know what? The bass, they're just not doing their job. They're not biting. We're getting some pike here and there, but it's definitely a tougher time on the water. And maybe you're having a tough time too. So we definitely want to talk about this. Is there a way we can get through this toughness? Is there a way we can start wrangling some dang fish again, or do we seriously have to wait until next year? I don't think so. I think we're going to get some fish. So we got some good stuff to talk about today, guys, and we're going to kind of get right into it real quick. If you like the show, be sure to subscribe on YouTube. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, all over the place. We got lots of stuff going on. And of course, you can subscribe anywhere you listen to podcasts. Feel free to drop us a 5-star review. It helps the show out a lot, and we appreciate you. Let's do this, Paul.
All right. First and foremost, Canadian Thanksgiving was like October 12th. So
way long ago.
My apologies. We airballed on that one, but recognize real. So question of the week. Question of the week. What are the top all right, I want you to rank your top 3 ways of eating a Thanksgiving that you could have a Thanksgiving turkey prepared for you. Jeff's already said, I don't know how to make a Thanksgiving turkey. And so I had to clarify that you don't have to have made it. You could have it made for you. If you rank your top 3 ways of having a turkey. I already know Jeff's number 1 is like Dietz and Watson sliced
straight heaters
sandwich from the sandwich counter. That's number 1. Oven roasted gold.
That's definitely, first of all, that's number 2. Second of all, don't come at me, bro. All right, so here's the real thing, though. Here's the real deal about this as to why I don't know how to cook, to prepare said turkeys. I never did it growing up. Don't make everyone unsubscribe right now.
Oh no,
this is not true. Absolutely, I love meat. I'm a meat eater. I do enjoy it, but I just never like grew up preparing it. And my family like did the basic things like throw it in the oven.
Turkey.
Yeah, like normal turkey ways, which Paul's gonna enlighten us.
You're gonna come at me with oven roasted.
That's not my favorite, but that's just like how they would prepare it. And I never like did that myself. But that said, also my wife's family would always do like Bob Evans, just order straight up the Thanksgiving meal. So we never like had to really prepare anything, which I mean,
Second favorite is Boston Market.
Boston Market's number 1, first of all. Second of all,
extra salt.
It was great because like you don't have to do anything. There's no stress about cooking or preparing. You're just like, oh, here's all this food in cardboard boxes. Let's pop this bad boy open. You put it on plates. You put it on your nice china that you get out once a year.
On plates. No, you get it right out the trough.
right
out the trough.
We can make it look nice if we wanted to, but yeah, that's pretty much like what I was used to. And also, my wife is more privy to like honey baked ham than to turkey. So oftentimes we would be getting the honey baked ham over turkey.
Brand honey baked, not like
honey baked.
Okay, all right.
The brand. There's actually a spot here in Grand Rapids. There's a honey baked ham store. So pretty good.
That is amazing though. If you ever go into it's like honey baked ham. What's the other meat store? The place that sells the steaks? I can't remember.
Omaha?
Yeah. When you go and you see like the shopping wall where you can like pick out your ham.
Yeah.
And you're like, you just see golden wrapped hams, like floor to ceiling, 30 feet. That's incredible.
And Paul just goes, scoop.
I'm like, top shelf, please.
I'll take that.
So what? Is number 1 Boston Market? Is that number 1?
Yeah, man. I mean, for me, it's not about it coming from Boston Market. It's about the memories. It's about the family time, you know? So it holds that like
number
sentimental.
one, Boston Market.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
what I'm saying.
fine.
Defending my choice.
All
right, yo, teach us actual things about
Yeah,
turkey.
real talk. If you've never had a deep fried turkey, you may not live in America.
Oh man,
dude, I don't want to break this to you like now live on air or semi-live because we're not live anymore.
Where are you calling from?
I don't know where you live. I need to check your ping because I don't know where you at.
I've in for
and it is 10 times better than any other turkey that's out there. I'll die on that sword instantly. Dose number 2. Chaz mentioned this earlier. Smoked. I've been smoking turkeys for like the whole family. I think the last 3 years. You must brine. You must brine. You must brine. I'll say it again. You must brine. Brine that son of a gun. Brine turkey. Brine it yourself. Save some of the brine, and then get it in your gravy. And then what you got to do is you smoke it, and then you finish it in the oven. Broil for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes tops. Crispy, ultra crispy skin. You do a little basting during. I like to do a different like glaze, but you know what? You don't have to. But a smoked turkey, phenomenal. And also somehow way less effort than like cooking in the oven. There's a lot of stress with cooking in the oven.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Chaucer's what type of wood? I'm a hickory guy. I like to go hickory 75, 80% of the time even. I'm not a big cherry wood dude. I'm not a big cherry wood. No, I do like the Jack Daniels makes like their own like out of the barrels. They make like wood chips. Those are seemed. I got it as a present, and I was like, this is dumb. And I used it. I was like, I'll buy more of these. These are great. They're actually really good. They work really good. I also do not soak my wood chips. I have an electric smoker, so I don't really need a ton of smoke. I get it rolling early though, and there's so much smoke that stays in the box. No need. So that's just how I roll. Number three. You know what? I have to say, I was like gonna say oven roasted, and I'm like, no. Extra thick cut with one extremely thick piece of cheddar left over the next day in a sandwich on like a onion Kaiser roll.
With mashed potatoes.
Like the best way to eat a turkey right there. Highly
on the roll.
Highly underrated.
Mashed potatoes and gravy on top of that. And
the stuff. You got to get the dip.
And the stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
Just the Thanksgiving meal in a sandwich.
That. Thanksgiving sandwich. Yeah. So let's just make sure we keep that one in mind. Let's not underrate the day after. Outstanding.
Enjoy your leftovers, folks. Hey, before we get into our weekly check-in, which is a little different this week, I want to hit some Facebook and Instagram cues. Give you guys a shout out. I said, hey, we're not going live this week, but drop us some cues and we'll give you some answers. So let's get right into that. So on Instagram, I'm gonna hit these first. So we got Mr. O'Chavez. Other than Monster Bass, what would you what would be your second favorite box for the value and top winter lures for bass? 2 questions, 2-parter. All right. So, second favorite box.
Can we just say it on like 1, 2, 3, and then say it?
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 6 cents.
6 cents. Ah, no. Not prepared at all.
Didn't need to. Actually, so I unboxed the November sack. I unsacked the November sack. So if you guys don't know, 6 Cents doesn't actually have a box. They have what they call the Super 6 sack. So it's a lot of fun to talk about at all times. So the unsacking happened today.
No. You're gonna change the name of all the videos now. They're retroactive and go back.
No, I'm gonna keep doing it until 6 Cents is like, we gotta change this name. You're making it too hard for people like me, man. But all right, so it comes in a sack, like a literal sack, not like Santa's sack, miniaturized.
What you get your crown in?
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly like
Velvet sack.
They change the color every month. This month, November, was orange. It's harvesty, right? So pretty cool. They had lots of orange baits in there too. Typically red, orange, it'll work for you in the fall months and spring. So pretty cool. I can get behind it. But this month was epic, you guys. You're actually really going to like this unboxing, and it will, I get it super late in the month. So you're going to get it like early December. Like it'll be like one of the first December videos I drop. But great box, all unique baits for first time in a while, so I was pretty impressed with it. But it's just like, I love the quality of their baits. I literally have probably the least amount of negatives when I do those unboxings. Like I just don't know what to say.
Well, so it's kind of like an interesting crossroads because you're getting like all house baits.
Yep, but it's like,
but they're all
the negative adage.
So they're not in it necessarily to make like inexpensive like baits that everyone can access. They're just like making good baits because that's like what they do. And then they're like, well, maybe we'll just give these two as well, and we'll give you the homie hookup. You do get a discount. I mean, for sure. Like you couldn't buy these unless you had bought like the package deal. So it's kind of a win-win, right? They got to get rid of some product. They get the brand out there, and they make good stuff. I mean, that's like the value chalice right there, right? You're getting a low price, you're getting high value, and you're getting a lot of quantity. And it just helps that they make good stuff. And they do a really nice job making unique baits too. Their paint jobs are unique. They were kind of like, I don't want to say the pioneer, but they kind of blew up the matte finish recently. Has become a big deal because of some of the paint schemes that they've come up with, which, whether or not you think that's the coolest thing, they look freaking sweet. And then I think the other piece of it is, it's definitely weighted on the body baits, right? So you're getting a lot of body baits, and those typically are higher dollar items. So when you're getting a bunch of those, even if you're not getting the best value, your brain is like, oh my God.
Yeah. It is, it really, the only reason it's number 2 to my number 1 being monster bass is just that I got a lot of redundancy over the last 12 months as far as like the plastics. I would love to get like their better, more unique plastics like the prawn, the stroker craw, the mondo worm thing that they have that's not called the mondo worm because that's Googan Squad. What's the big worm called? Chaz knows. Paul's throwing up right now because Chaz is eating candy corn. If you guys remember, we talked about this on Halloween.
And for his own pleasure. I don't.
Yeah. Anyways, they're big, like 10 or 11 inch worm. It's the ridge worm, which is pretty sweet. But I just haven't gotten any of those. This month was pretty fantastic. Like it had all unique body baits. You guys, you'll see it. That's enough about it. So great. I love everything that they're doing. So that's my second favorite box of all time forever, for now. So then top winter lures for bass. So this kind of depends regionally.
Thank you.
I'm going to throw like our top, because we literally talked to people from the South who were like, oh yeah, I caught a fish on a frog the other day. And we're like, get out of town, because that would just not fly here, right? So we're throwing typically like jerks, slower sinking, suspending kind of jerk baits, ripping baits. Like I would be been throwing like the 10,000 fish Death Stalker blade baits, the old classic blade baits. Those work too, just kind of jigging them, because really it's like we're just transitioning into what's going to be ice season, where we literally just jigs, right? All winter long. That's going to be happening. We might throw more like live bait into it, because that tends to work really well. And then I'm throwing like spoons, maybe Castmasters, stuff like that. Slow,
and you're downsizing.
And way smaller. Exactly. Little lipless. We got that Lunker candy, tiny baby blue chrome lipless in the Monster Bass box this month was fantastic. Right size. And it's got good action.
I think I even said, I was like, this might be the best box that I've gotten this year. Like that was, I've been really happy with the boxes, but that one is like very understated, but it hit all the points that I wanted. It was huge.
Yeah. Tight. Maybe I'll throw one more out there unless you got any other ideas, but finesse jigs with the spider skirt.
Yeah.
I think small size.
You hit all the big stuff. I definitely think you said flat-sided. That's a big one because it works pretty much anywhere. If you get the right size and the right weight, I don't really like tying and untying a lot of stuff in the winter. It's just for us, it sucks. I will say if you're down south, a buzzbait, you can't really. I mean, as long as there's not a lot of wind, I think it's like it can be a solid option for you that you're probably not throwing right now. And then shaker worms, man. I mean, if you can get a shaky head, you can mess with the length on it, and as long as you don't have like a really heavy, big old hook, and you get the right hook, anywhere in the country. So that's the other thing about it. Trying to hit some other folks might be seeing. The nice thing about shaky is you can park it, and honestly, that's what I end up doing a lot of times when the water gets real cold, is dropping it and then just like start doing something else.
No, exactly. I picked up some Woo tungsten. Tungsten
There you go.
shaky heads, and they're phenomenal. So if you want to downsize, tungsten is an easy way to downsize. And yeah, downsize your worm a little bit. Go with like the 6-inch Divine shaky worm from 6 Cents. I don't know. Throw it out there. It's a pretty fantastic worm. You can throw that on there, and yeah, might luck into some fishies. All right, and we're going to talk about how to luck into them here in a minute. So speed round, we got, what is your go-to spinning combo on Instagram from Seltz400. I love saying Instagram names. Go-to spinning combo. I like your triad setup.
The triad, man. The Ducket triad, 7 foot, 7'6", something like that. And it's a medium, dude. It handles big fish real nice. Lets you get braid onto it in like, I keep like 25, 15, and I've handled fish. I've handled them. It's just it does everything that you want on the medium size. It can punch above its weight a little bit if you need to upgrade, but it's not necessarily a workhorse rod. But like if this is your spectrum of like Magnum heavy is like a 10 and like ultra finesse like 4 foot ultralight's like a 1, it covers everything from like 3 to 8. 3 to 7, and that is like a really well-rounded. And I like a 2000 size reel on it. I had a Daiwa, the one that Cabela's makes, the Tournament ZX, phenomenal value. I now have, which I've been kind of messing around with, something from PC Fun, and I am stunned at how much I like it.
Oh yeah, we still gotta do a friggin' video on that.
I know, but you gotta fish them. You got more than once, right?
Oh,
you gotta
true,
get them out a little
true.
bit, so that's the big thing.
So my current go-to, I love my finesse setup. I need to upgrade the reel at some point. So currently I have the Ducket Silverado. It's a medium 7-foot spinning rod with a Shimano Sahara on it, which is a 2500 size. And like, I like this setup. The reel, I wasn't blown away by it for $80. So I like it. It's smooth. It's got some problems with the bail. Like the wire for the bail is a little bit awkward. I don't know. The line doesn't get into position the way it's supposed to when you flip the bail. So whatever. Maybe it's a problem with my specific reel, but I'll probably upgrade to a better one. Not necessarily a Stratic, but I'll get up there.
Charles mentioned the Lose Mach 2. Their combos are really high value, I think. Even the Mach 1s. I've got Mach 1 in my garage and no problem with it. And that is a solid combo if you're looking for something that's available. Yeah, you could typically get those. You could typically get those for like in the $100 range for sure.
Right.
They also go on sale perennially.
I'll throw one other one out there that I need to get real soon, which is the Abu Garcia Zada combo. I'm gonna do it.
I would recommend though, really like if you want to get the combo, I would really think about that because the Veritas is actually where I would think about going. If it's going to be your go-to. The Zada's real nice, but it's a little on the bigger side. Just the total of it is like, I don't like larger spinning setups. I like my spin. That's why I was like
thicker rod.
And I was like kind of complaining about the standard, the favorites, right?
The
high-end stuff's really nice, but they're kind of like standard $100 rod. They're just too big. My Bass X, love the rod. It's a little bigger than what I'd like it to be. So sometimes typically you have to pay up for that. The Veritas, I think, is like a perfect power size ratio. And the new one, I haven't gotten a chance to like use it to my heart's content. I have the old one. If it's that much better than the old one, then I have to have one at some point. It's just a fact.
Just gonna throw it out there.
And they are high value, and they're on sale right now.
Sure.
A lot of spots. I think I need to put that in the email that you may get today.
Yeah. So I think the Zada comes with a Vengeance, right? Which is the step below the Veritas. But it's still a sweet combo, and I think they're on sale Black Friday for like $160 for the combo. So if you want like
It's legit.
mid range. Go with the Zada setup if you want to upgrade it, or even upgrade it later. Check out those Veritas rods; they're pretty dope.
Absolutely.
All right, so last thing, we can sum this up in very few words. What is your honest opinion on Googan baits?
Oh,
I use them.
Everyone expects
a
me to
lot.
like hack them apart. I do use
I
them.
feel like we're supposed to hate them.
I'm supposed to hate them for some reason. No, I have them all in my boat.
Yeah.
I like the soft plastics better than most of the body baits. I'll say that. The Rattle and Ned, I like. I probably have like
we use it all the time.
I probably have 5 bags of them, like legit.
We go through those a lot.
Yeah. The body baits are fine. No problem with them. When I have, I just don't seek them out. When I have them, I use them, but I do not go seeking them out. I just think someone else makes them and they slap their name on it.
So Chaz is saying right now they're too expensive for the durability. I would say, like, for me, the body baits are a solid like 6 out of 10. Like, they're not like Paul said, I'm not seeking them out. There are better body baits on the market for the same price. So that's kind of our opinion there. Would I use them? Yes. If they come in my mystery tackle box, am I mad? No. Like, I will definitely use them.
The frogs are solid.
Yeah, the frogs I think are not pliable enough for where we fish. I think they're super heavy duty, which would be.
But that's
they're good for down south or pike. Like, they might hold up better for toothy critters.
But this is a big thing though. Like, not everybody likes a super soft frog.
Sure. No, agreed.
And so
I
think that's like a little bit of I do too. I'm a big Spro guy, and so that's why I go Pad Crasher. But right. That's like a personal choice. Like, that's like how you fish. And so,
hey man, this is like
that's
like your opinion.
Yeah, it's your opinion, man.
Bro, that's like your opinion, man.
Yeah. All I'm saying is, like, they are high quality. I've got no problem with them. Like, they're designed fine. And so, especially if you're fishing bigger bass like Florida, Alabama, whatever, you don't want a super soft frog. You don't. So
no, for sure. But all right, so body baits are fine. They're like a 6 out of 10 for me. The new clickbait I just ordered 2 of.
Very interested.
The clickbait chatterbait, I picked it up. JC Dropshot actually texted me today that he picked up like 3 or 4 too. Yeah. I was like, dude, I just bought those.
Cool.
They're shipping today.
Sweet.
Yeah, so they look cool. I think it's a great concept. I want to see it. I want to see what's going on. And yeah, I mean, I don't know, guys. Like, I'm not gonna just outwardly hate on any company. We're not here to like, we're trying to be influencers to like shut down small businesses or cool businesses. Like, those guys came out of YouTube. To me, I want to emulate that. I want to do that. I want to make my own baits. How amazing would that be? I love it, man. I think those guys, they did awesome stuff, and I honestly try to emulate some of it in what we do. I'm not gonna do like challenges per se and stuff like that all the time. That's hard for me to stomach, but
the flip side of that though is I'm not going to sit here and tell you that everything is awesome either.
No,
I don't go to the store being like, I'm going straight to the aisle that has all the Googan baits in it.
Where's all the green stuff?
Yeah. Now, do I go buy Rattle and Neds? Absolutely. Sometimes do I pop Rattle and Neds into my other regular Neds? Yes. It's just like anything else.
Yeah, my last thought on that is just the plastics I think are fine. I love that they have lots of different sizes on it. Durability, not great. Action, pretty great. So it's one of those types of baits, and I'm used to fishing, for example, with Ned rigs. I fish Z-Man finesse turds, and they never, ever, ever die.
Jeff has a big old gripe with everything that's not a Z-Man, so
which is everything.
It's fair. I mean, that's totally fair.
To switch from the turd where you catch 50 smallmouth in a day, no problem, to a Rattle and Ned that dies after 1 to 2 fish max. Like, we go through bags on the Grand. Like, we'll just go out there.
I don't even keep them in that little separated, gigantic pot, because it's like, these are 6. They're gonna all get dead. So I just pop them into a plastic container. I just do.
That's the only issue. But all right, so yeah, we got a couple questions from Facebook that we'll just hit later in the show. We'll hit a little mid-show intermission, but let's get to
this is important. Hold on. This is important. We never even got all the way through Thanksgiving.
No, we didn't.
No. So I have a finisher question here, and this is important. What makes Thanksgiving feel like you're at home, even if you're maybe not at home or with your entire family?
Yeah. I would say like for me, Bob Evans. I'm kidding.
For me, it's the BE.
So just having like the dining room table just covered with food and everybody's like making their own plates, and like I miss this from 2020, but being able to gather and be around others and talk to them about something than just your like daily monotony. Like it shakes up the monotony. You hear about other people that you don't see that often throughout the year. You need to see what's going on with them. And I love that. That's something I always look forward to. Also, there's usually Christmas music playing because my family's all about Christmas early on. So we got that. Or I remember going to like my aunt and uncle's house. We went to a lot for Thanksgiving, and we'd watch football go badly
Watch
for
the
us.
Lions get the crap kicked out of them by whoever they're playing. High school team.
The Lions literally die every single year. It's a thing you do every year. It's great. But yeah, all in all, just being around people I don't see that much. Being around family.
Yeah, football's a big one at my house. We'd go outside, especially when we were really, really young. And my mom would always make us wear coats, and that was very upsetting because I never wanted to wear a coat. It's like, it's gonna get in the way of my catching. And so, and then like my dad would just like drop bombs on us, and that's all we wanted to do. And then we would do that after the Lions played, so we could like replay all the plays, but like we were the good team, not the Lions. And then I definitely the one that like as I become an adult and it's kind of taken over. My wife's family is very Polish, and they make homemade kielbasa from scratch for the whole family for the entire year. So I've been doing that for like the last, I don't know, 8 or 10 years or whatever. And man, it's a 2-day process. So it's the day after Thanksgiving. The first day is churning up all the meat, stuffing the casings, letting them hang overnight, a lot of drinking. Then the next day, everyone's like, I'm done doing all the hard work. And then it's like 4 of us. And everyone gets the smokers out, and we smoke however many pounds everybody wanted smoked. And then we vacuum seal everything, and that's another good long drinking day. So everyone leaves with, I don't know, we get 35 pounds a year, and somehow it's all gone by November. I don't know how it happens, but it is the best. It's just everyone shouting for more garlic. But yeah, that's it's gonna suck to not have that this year. It really is. Like everyone's like, "Are we doing it? Are we doing it?" We're like, "No, we can't do it." Darn it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do it myself.
Yeah, I feel for everybody out there. Like it's a really weird year. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about what we're thankful for. In such a challenging year to be thankful for almost anything, there's got to be something you're thankful for. Am I right? And you guys know this with the giveaway. For example, we're running the 10K giveaway. We got 10,000 subscribers recently. I'm giving away a reel for a value of $150 to one of you awesome folks out there who I am thankful for. You are part of this for me. I'm gonna buy you the reel. I'm gonna ship it straight to you. All you got to do is comment on my 10K giveaway video dropped on last Friday. Yeah, last Friday. So this is posting Thursday, Friday this week. So it's like last Friday, November 20th. So you can go check that out and just drop a comment. Be a subscriber, drop a comment, enter to win that, and that would be awesome. So on my giveaways, though, that comment that I'm asking for is a bright spot. It's something that's going good for you in your life. And what I love, one thing that I'm really thankful for this year, other than the growth that we've seen on this channel, and hearing from all of you guys, is these bright spots that I see, and seeing you guys go into the comments and just like each other's bright spots. I didn't notice it until like 1 or 2 giveaways ago. I've been doing this for a little while now, but I went back through and I was like, there's like 50 likes on this one, 60 likes on this one. I'm like, dude, you guys are just building each other up. You're commenting back on it. I love seeing a community at work. So that is this community is something I'm very thankful for, and something that I hope grows, insanely large, just continues to grow, because this is so fun to do. Something, I'd love to do full time. I'm sure Paul would love to do full time. Like if we could get into this, that's what we want to do. And that's huge for me. So I appreciate all you guys. I hope you're having a great week with your families. And that's one big thing that I'm thankful for. Other than that, I have a fantastic family that lets me do this. My wife is awesome. My 2 girls are awesome. They're coming along great. Dealing with school being what school is this year and just getting through life. So I guess I'm most thankful for my family's flexibility with this year and their ability to handle this crazy. I couldn't imagine handling this as a kid. I would freak out. There's just no way. So it's pretty awesome seeing how resilient and how awesome they've been this year. Obviously, I hope it goes back to normal. So that's another thing for me. What about you?
Well, Jeff just stole both of mine. I was definitely going to say it's really cool, like getting like messages from people on Instagram, like, "Hey, look at this fish I caught!" Like, and people will just like message me like, "Hey, what kind of rod and reel would you buy?" And like that is something that I never thought would happen, and it's really neat to have those interactions with people. And it's so blessed that people are like thinking this is enjoyable, helping us make it better, and just participating. So I'm also very, very thankful for that. And then my other one was going to be my wife too. I mean, I have a 1.5-year-old, like I guess it's gonna be 2 in February, but whatever. And every time that Jeff and I go fishing, or every time I'm doing what I'm doing right now, my wife is like cleaning up dinner, putting the kid to bed, just dealing with a temper tantrum, right? Like, or an entire day of like, hey, do you want to do double chores and clean everything up? And like, I mean, the amount of sacrifice I'm just really, really, really grateful for. So those are mine for sure.
Awesome. So yeah, guys, think about it this year. I know it's like the cheesy Thanksgiving question. What are you thankful for? But honestly, this year more than ever, and this is why I ask you guys for bright spots, is you have to think about those. And it really helps you get through. So stay positive, stay safe, stay awesome. And let's get into, I'm going to have to hold a story till the very end, because we promised like this show a while back. And remember how I was like, hey, what's your thoughts on Googan baits? We can answer this in 5 words. We took 2 hours. So let's get to the show meat. And then I've got a little viewer story for you guys at the end. Remember, you guys can always submit to us what we call the heavy hook sets segment, where if you tag us in pictures on Instagram and Facebook, we'll save them. We'll post them on the show when we go live normally on Thursdays, and we'll tag you in the description of the video. And then you can also submit a story to us at podcasts at, there's no S, right? So it's POD.
Every time.
Dozens of stories going to the wrong email. So it's podcast, PODCAST at BurlyFishing.com. Thanks, Chas. He'll put that in the show notes, the description. So you guys can see that too. All right. Anyways, let's get to the show now.
All right. We got a lot of questions about this one. That's why it's an episode. And this applies differently to everybody, but we kind of need a little system going here. So the question was, like, what do you do when the fishing gets tough? Right? You're out, you've been out for like 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever. Sun's beating your butt up, you're getting fried, and you're like, I can't catch a fucking fish. What do I do? We're gonna let you know what we do. So we're crying.
That's what
no, we have like a whole thing we want to walk you through. So I mean, like for me,
a process.
Yeah, there is a process that you kind of run through, and you'll know these are like the 6 layers of heck, right? Like as you go through, you're like, it's getting worse. Now it's getting even worse. What I'm doing is not working. It's even worse. Like so, you're gonna kind of work your way through this, and you're gonna dig yourself out of the well here. So, the first thing, like my step one, when I'm sensing it's been like 2 hours or whatever is your limit, and you're like, I'm starting to like gut check myself now, feeling great. I just need to get one. So what's my step one is I already know what Jeff goes for. You go for the confidence bait.
Yeah.
Right? The one that you're like, I'm going to feel good fishing with this.
It can't not work.
Exactly.
That's what you say about that bait.
Yeah.
That's how you know.
I'll throw on the Jeff fill in the blank.
Ned rig.
There it is. Jeff goes Ned. I'll typically, it always depends, but man, spinnerbait. I always feel good throwing spinnerbait. I'm like, something's going to hit this.
I know this is later in the show that we're going to talk about our confidence baits, right? That's like your little closeout. So we'll get to it. I say spinnerbait's like my top 5 that I grab for. It's always in the Busby, but yeah, with you.
Yeah. But whatever it is for you, it doesn't matter what it is. Whatever
Yep.
you are like, I'm gonna get one of these. Yes, Chaws, cranks and swim baits. Let them
Swim
rip
baits. Look at me
for
on
sure.
Shaw's. I use swim baits.
So that's kind of like my step one, where it's like it's been a little bit. I just need to get one under my belt. Now, let's say it's been another half hour. You're like, I got no confidence in anything. Nothing's gonna work. What do you do after that? My step two, I'm actually that's when I start jamming all the buttons on the fish finder. Because I know that like when I'm fishing confidence baits and like I'm doing like the right thing using air quotes, right? I'm doing the right thing for like where I am and like the wind and the water and whatever. Like they're just not here. I'm not in the right spot. And you might think they've got to be here, or maybe they're hitting all around you. You're like, these fish do not have what you want, my guy. Okay, you need to relocate and you need to talk to some different fish. So that's when I hit the fish finder, right? So if I'm in medium water, maybe I go super shallow. If I'm in super shallow, maybe I'll go super deep. Maybe I'll hit a pocket. Maybe I'll just go out in the middle of nowhere and be like, throw a frickin' worm out here. Haven't thrown one over there. Just go to a different spot. And again, we did a whole episode on fish finder. I would highly recommend going back to it because this is a great thing to say like, okay, I'm on this drop off here, but maybe I'm not seeing what I really should be seeing on the fish finder. It's time to like start jamming some buttons, get dialed in, and find some different fish. That's like my number two.
Facts. That has saved me on more times than not. And I'm actually now I didn't used to do this, and Paul knows this because I didn't have a fish finder for the longest time. Then I had one. Remember, I had it on the Predator 13. It was the center mount, and I just never turned it on. I actually removed it and just never used it. I was like, we'll figure this out. But going from that to getting like what I have, the
hook two,
Lowrance hook two. Lowrance. That's how we say it here, people. But going to that and actually utilizing it, game changer. If you guys aren't using it, even if you're fishing from the bank, we talked about this before. There's 2 or 3 different ones. iBobber, deep. Deeper. I think it is. Yeah. It's like DEEPR. But anyways, those are the castable sonars you can use. They Bluetooth to your phone. There you go. You got options. It is a game changer. And if you're just like, man, I'm not. Striker. Yeah, there's all sorts of crazy stuff, right? So it's like you're not catching fish. You're just going to keep throwing your lure at the water because all water is fish. It's not. Like you got to find out where they're at. You got to figure it out. And the fish finder can save you a lot of time and frustration. Trust me. Learn that the hard way. All right. So step 3.
So number 3, and this one, I mean, it's similar to the like go somewhere else, like go away. It's a little bit different. It's do the exact opposite of whatever it is that you're doing.
Yeah.
Right. So if Jeff's throwing like the Ned and he's getting all subtle, like subtly aggressive, it's time to get straight up aggressive. And that's where I'm gonna like, even if you think worms are right, now I'm going to like a gigantic worm. I'm going huge. Or if I've been working something real slow, I'm gonna start ripping it in the water. I'm doing the literal opposite, like the exact opposite. If I've been going fast, I'm going super slow. I'm dead sticking. Color, I think, even if it ends up not being the thing that is what it is, it just makes you feel better. Like I've been rocking white all day, going black and blue, right? I've been on this purple kick, going straight orange. Like just do something different. Sometimes it's a lot of I mean, it can be weight. I think weight's a big one that we've started to play with a lot, like earlier on in the like first I might start with color, then I might go to speed. I've actually started messing with weight, but even before that. I don't know if you remember, but I think it was the August box day that we were out. We went weightless with those katana hooks, and it was like,
oh yeah, we were getting annihilated.
Smacked. We were fishing the same plastic in the same spot, and all I did was take the weight off, and it was like we were just getting hammered. So just please, for the love of God, just do something very, very different. And sometimes it can lead you into kind of like my one of my my next step here. But that's just get weird. Like if it's been like 4 hours and there's nothing has happened, and you've gone somewhere else, you've gone to confidence base, you changed the color, you switched the speed, you're like, grab whatever you haven't touched in your boat, man. Like everyone knows that there's something in your pack that you just do not think is going to work, or you do not use, or you don't have confidence in. Start practicing. At least gain some like tactical knowledge like out of your trip. I've had days where baits that were not baits for me at all had become confidence baits because they worked in situations that I was just having a crap day, and they just knocked it out of the park.
Yeah. For me, I can think of a few. Topwater was one of them for a while because I was just, well, for one, I didn't have like a frog and stick for a while. So, I would get bites and miss simply because I didn't have the broomstick and the braid to like set the hook and land the fish. And I was just dinking around trying to figure this thing out. But like frogs have quickly become a confidence bait for me. It's in my top 5. When appropriate, not in November, December for us, but like when appropriate, yeah, I always have those on. But I like the get weird is so interesting because that's when I'm gonna do like opposite colors for like skirt to plastic. I'm gonna do like Paul is throwing a tube on a jig, and I said like a skirted jig, and I was like, bro, what is you doing? But he's just like making that weird play. And it's like a legitimate play that could definitely happen. But also for me, you guys know, we unbox these boxes all the time. These fishing subscription boxes, you're almost guaranteed to get novelty. So those novelty baits, what do I do with them? Well, the ones that are straight trash, they live there, some of them. But the ones that are like fishable, and I'm like, I gotta at some point I'm gonna use this thing, but it's definitely not in my go-to. So I have like 2 Buzzbees. One's the go-to box, it sits up front with me. One's in the back, and it has like spares and things that I've think about throwing at some point in time. So for me, that's been like 13 Fishing's motorboat I had in my box for so long. And one day the bite was actually just on, and I got weird. But sometimes it's like, let's try something different. So the motorboat, for example, has a buzzbait prop tail, but it spins through the muck and it gets through fine. So you're able to just put it in the worst spot possible and just be like, let's see. So it's example like that. Or what do we get in the one box we don't talk about anymore? We got the fish head buzzbait that had the underspin. Remember that one?
Yep.
So that would have been one that I'm like, that looks so weird. But then you get that moment, you're like, screw it, throw this thing out there. I've done like the other day, I was having this day. This didn't pan out for me, but I did the tiny child rig to the Strike King Ned Ocho, which is weightless Texas hook it and then throw a Nico weight through the tail. And I threw the VMC skirted Nico nail into it.
It looked like a thing.
It looks so stupid.
Like 2 octopuses glued together. It was weird.
And it was like black and blue with PB&J on the skirt. I was like, let's do this. Didn't work. Didn't work at all. But
Chaz had a good one, like acting like a swim bait is dying and then just having it go bananas. For sure. I know we had this on, I don't know if we have that one on video. The second to last day of our long camping trip. No, we were on the way out. It was the last day. I got the jerkbait that I had working all day, got bit off, and I swapped to this enormous Rapala DT, legit like 3 inches long and like 1.5 inches tall, and it was like bright like aquamarine blue, and it was yellow on the bottom. It's supposed to dive 1 foot, and it was
chartreuse.
And it was like a wake bait, and I'm like, there's no fish that is gonna look at this and be like,
But
I was wrong. Could not have been more wrong. Caught like 4 or 5 fish on that thing. 2 of them were like smaller than the bait.
Yeah.
But I was hammering them on the whole way out, and I'm like, this is absolutely insane. That has been in my tackle collection for at least 5 years. The first day that I fished it.
The funny thing is that before you had come up there, that was the Mega Slam video, by the way, guys, which is it's 2-parter.
Yeah.
So the Mega Slam, before you got up there, because I got up there first for like 2 hours before you or something, I fished the exact same bait from 6th Sense. It was a wake bait. Yeah, it was the Movement ADX, and it was the wake bait. That was the same color. It's the blue chartreuse. And I had forgotten about it because this was like 2.5 days later.
Yeah.
And you were fishing that. I was like, huh, neat.
Yeah,
It
it's
worked
bonkers.
2 days before. It was crazy. But
it is bonkers. So
yeah.
yeah.
What is that thing, Chaz? What's it called? The Mad Dog? Yeah, that's absurdly
It's like a
large.
foot long. So like throwing a submarine sandwich, like a Quiznos.
Oh, it's perfect with a lip.
So yeah, like just get weird with it, right? And then the next one, my recommendation, if it's been like 6 hours, you haven't caught anything, I say just go to your nearest like food mart, buy a frozen walleye, and tell your significant other, look what I did. Make sure you thought.
I was ice fishing. It's August.
Yeah. And I did really good. There was not even any ice. Look, I'm just
straight limitation.
I'm just the thing you gotta do is you have to keep it fun. And this is one of the reasons why I enjoy fishing with another person, as long as the other person is willing to go the distance. Because there are some times when you're having a crap day, and watching your friend catch a million fish when you're not can actually be fun. You have someone to play off of. You have like a partner in crime to like kind of commiserate with. Mm-hmm. You have someone to carry more snacks that you can also eat. You have someone else to carry more beverages, whatever your beverage of choice is. That's like a whole other pontoon you can fill up. But no, I mean, like, it's just, yeah, sometimes I can try and catch Jeff in the face. I got that on that same video. Things happen. And it's just, it really does, though. You need to keep it fun, whatever it is for you. Get your snacks. Get out and go for a swim if you're in a kayak or a boat or whatever. Just make sure you're having fun. What that does, and it sounds like, oh, make sure you're having fun. No, it keeps your mind fresh, and it keeps you fishing confidently, not fishing too fast, not giving up on a spot, not getting hot and going home. Like, that is what will keep you in the zone. And we talked about that with, I think, Carrie Cates, who is like fishing from the back of a boat, which can be super challenging because you're really limited. Right. And so whatever you got to do to stay locked in, and just if you're not out there, you can't catch it from the couch. So whatever will keep you out there. For me, a couple of Gatorades, right? Maybe some Frosty Frost. And then, I mean, legitimately, you got to have some form of meat stick. If I don't have some form of meat stick, I might not make it 4 hours. I don't know what to tell you. I got to have some meat sticks. So that's a big one.
I would say for us, and you guys see some of this because we don't upload all of it, obviously, because fishing trips go from 8 hours to 20 minutes, and it's really hard to put enough in it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like we have these tough days. I've more than once gotten very upset and melted down. But we generally try to do something. So one of us will usually recognize that the other one's pissed off, and we'll be like, do you need a snack?
Sandwich time.
You hungry? And then they'll just literally throw food at your face. Yeah. Literally, because then the next thing is we'll like snack, we'll hydrate, right? Next step is make TikToks.
Exactly. That's exactly right. That's when the TikToks happen.
If you guys follow us on TikTok, we haven't posted in a while because we haven't been fishing. It's really hard to make.
Winter TikTok is going to be on point.
Winter TikTok will be back. We do have to reenact the chasing of the 120 mile an hour can.
Yeah, I literally form tackled a Bud Light can that was like coasting down the ice at like 30 miles an hour.
He deserved it. So yeah, we make TikToks, we post Instagram, we kind of chill for a second. We talk about like, all right, strats. Like, let's talk strats. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? What's the biggest bang for our buck at the time? And we try to figure that out. So, all of that, it helps a lot. And then when in doubt, dad pops. Dad pops have changed the game. Literally, Beer Cinco. I take you back. 2018. The Beer Cinco came about. It's legit. Dad pops can save the day. And if they don't, you just go home happier. So it's fun.
Yeah. That's kind of my process. I mean, you start with, depending on where you're at and how crappy your day is going, Yeah, start with confidence baits. Go to a different spot if that's not working. Keep trying your confidence baits. Then start doing something the exact opposite of what you're doing, and then just start fishing, right? And then just make sure that as you're kind of going through this and you're on the hunt for whatever it is, the new spot or the right color, whatever. Just try and keep it fun. Like try and just stay locked and loaded because when you get crabby, when you get cranky, you might as well just pack it up because you're just the whole point was to enjoy what you're doing. If you're not doing that, you're not doing it right. Bye-bye. Time to go home. Go hug your kids or, take a nap. I don't know.
Yeah, sometimes it's not worth it, right? Sometimes it's like, you know what? Shoot, bad day. Also, my wife was mad at me when I left. Also, I haven't talked to my kids all day. So it's like
step 5 was go buy some fish and eat them.
Literally take them home. Chaz brings up a good point. Don't drive drunk, please, boats or cars. So have your dad pops, but please consider
moderation.
We're not, and don't tell them Burly Fishing told you to do that either.
Well, the moderation part. But
keep that, we'll say pops from now on. That's why we say pops, literally. All right.
It's like did they make man can Verners?
Do they? That'd be like
that would be awesome. I might actually buy that. Man can.
So absurd.
24-ounce cream soda.
Oh yeah, I'll take that tall boy right there. That'd be great. All right.
That's cool. All right. So I wanted to finish it off. One of the questions that we get a ton that kind of goes along with this is like, what do you use? Like, what's your favorite bait for like X time of year or whatever? First and foremost, these answers will probably change depending on what time of year it is. I mean, it's almost a guarantee that they will. But we'll try and do our best. So Jeff will take turns, I think. Do you want to start with what, midsummer? Just like dead heat of summer? Or do you want me to?
You go first.
I will go first. What has become one of my favorite baits in the absolute dead heat of summer is something that we don't get to do a ton of, but it's actually really short finesse worms with some kind of a tail, kind of like the big bite baits, type setup, and a drop shot. And I'm really enjoying. I've actually really been enjoying doing that. Not always super deep. I have taken that and I will go ultra light on the weight, and I'll be using that to do like a slow fall tied directly to the line with no tag in really shallow water. That has just been one of the things that like I've come to really enjoy doing. It kind of caters to how I like to fish. And then in the dead heat of summer, when all you've been fishing is topwater all day and it's not working, it's a really nice way to be like, I'm pretty sure like this is gonna work. Like if no topwater, weight bait, like buzz bait, frog, whatever has worked, I'm gonna feel pretty good about throwing that. So that actually for me has become kind of one of my favorites when it's been a tough day and when it's like 90 plus or whatever.
Yeah, so we literally had that day several times this year, and drop shot was the saving grace. So that has also become mine, and I actually go a little bit heavier. Well, I guess heavy in my mind, but like a 1/4 ounce, and power finesse it. But same thing, like we run up on the shoreline 10, 20 feet from shore, and we look for the, what do we call them? The little patches within the grass or, in the weed lines. Like if you find that little spot,
you're straight up dead, man.
That's a murder hole. That's what we call it. That's the murder hole. So we'll like pull up on the yak, and then we'll just like flip a drop shot into these murder holes and just pause forever with like as finessey a plastic as we can rig up to it, nose hook style, barely on there, just flapping, right? And generally get a bite. Like we've had a lot of luck with that actually this summer. I've definitely grown to enjoy that bait quite a bit more. I would say my second one for midsummer is a weightless Texas unsalty, like a dense plastic, no salt or low salt plastic, like the 6 cents Ned Fry, one of my favorites because it's just super dense, super tough. On an EWG, weightless, right? Maybe if it's bad enough, throw a fluoro leader on that. And I'm just using like my finesse setup, which now has high vis line, which I freaking love, and a lighter wire hook. Or if I'm feeling frisky, I'll throw it on like my bait casting combo, like the Zada, for example, with the Bass X. I'll throw that out there. Then I can cast it a bit further, go with a heavier wire hook, and just hammer them. And that I had a lot of luck on that this year too.
Yeah, I think my other go-to in the summertime, a small popper, that Rebel popper, it just like actually on an ultralight rig, I can cast it like, over the mountains and on a dime, just show me where you want it and I'll drop it there. And I don't know. It's a confidence thing, because I've caught a lot of fish on it, but like that's why it's confidence bait, because it works a lot. And it does a couple of things in summer. You can work it very, very aggressively. It makes a lot of noise if you make it make a lot of noise. You can also work it very subtly, twitch, 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 and then just leave it there and it won't do anything. But it's got that little fur on the back and it does its little dangly, dangly dance. And I like that because it's really flexible. Like anytime I throw it on, I know there's a situation when it can work and I can fish it however I need to for that particular time. So that's another one. The nice thing about those two is it's really simple. I tie braid directly to it. I know everyone says like, oh, use mono. You can tie braid directly to it and it works great. You can tie a loop knot to mono and it works fantastic. It's just a really nice flexible bait that works in a lot of situations. And for the dead of summer, sometimes it's not super loud and sometimes you need something that's just going to churn the water up and you can do both. So that's definitely another one for me in the summer.
And on that, whopper plopper.
Yeah. It's fun to fish too. That's you get like the factor of like this is enjoyable.
Especially on the river. This summer on the river on like days where I literally was pouring buckets of sweat. Paddling up river, trying to figure things out. The black whopper plopper in the what's the 75? The 90?
The smallest one is the 75, 90, and then there's like the 110.
The 90s. In the 90s or the 110s would be solid. The black whopper plopper, though.
See, I like the bone in the 75.
See, I have
like whitish
a
yellow
bone one right there. I don't use it.
I
have the white chartreuse that I use.
I'm gonna go grab that from you.
You can have it. It's yours. There you go. Paul just gained himself a whopper plopper.
Jackpot.
Yeah. So I like the white chartreuse because the same as my frogs. Like I have black or white. That's generally it. And like lunker hunt spiders, yellow, green, brown. But most of the frogs are like kind of the same thing, just normal. Bright or dark, and that's it. So yeah. Any other midsummers?
No, I think those are I want to keep it kind of to a shorter list. Those are kind of some of my favorites. So the next one, I say fall or spring. I kind of lump them in the same category for us. It might be different depending where in the country, but for us, I think they're essentially the same season. It just depends on what portion of fall and spring you're in. But like if we're in like, we'll say April, late April, and then on the flip side, we'll say early October.
Yeah.
October-ish. Starting to get cold. Mid-October.
Yeah. Two for me. Ned rig, square bill. Like just like literally I could make a Buzzbee box of Ned rigs and square bills and go to the Grand and just hammer them.
I have a box
for
of
days.
I have a box of only Ned and topwater.
Yeah, it's like fall and spring though, like the square bill, just especially like flat-sided ones or the like big fat floaty ones from time to time, like the what was the one I got from 6 Cents? Is it the mini mag? I like the mini mag or even the 100, the Crush 100X. Pretty fantastic go-tos. And you got like the flat, I think it's a 75X, solid flat-sided square bill. Those are crush it. And then Ned rig,
Little John for sure.
Shark turd.
Oh yeah.
Shark turd.
The Little John I really like. I like the BX Brat. Was that Rapala? Pretty sure. They're inexpensive. They come in flat. They come round. They come in like 5 or 6 different colors. They really need to make them not in a shiny color because I would buy them out. But I keep 4 or 6 of them on hand at all times. I just really like the size. I feel like that's why I like the Little John too. It's just like that smaller profile, but like still big, bulky, bullet. That size for me, especially flat-sided, just crushes. I love it. And then I will say, if pressed, I really like a more natural presentation.
For sure.
The water gets a little bit more clear. They're looking for a bait fish. I do like a little bit of flash, but not a lot. And if pressed, if I can only have one, I want something that's like minnow color, right?
Yeah.
Blue, white, maybe some hint of like yellow or whatever, but that's the big thing I want, like more natural.
Yeah. I would say I like some Rapalas, and then I actually just had a subscriber send us some baits, which you guys are going to see the video yesterday because it dropped on Wednesday. But yeah, the subscriber square bills I just got, they had like this smallmouth bass color that was just chef's kiss. Yeah. It was great, like solid colors. So those are pretty sweet to fish. And then recently those Vexans from the Redemption, Vexan Redemption, those are pretty dope too. Those are ones that I could just beat the heck out of, just not even worry about. So good. I have so many square bills. I freaking love them. They're just so fun to fish too, especially on the river. Underrated in my opinion. Like I didn't even know what I was missing until I threw my first square bill in the river, and I was like, only doing this for a long time.
The one thing I'll say about square bills you got to be careful of is getting complacent. And I wrote an article about this a while ago. You want to, what I do is I pick something that I'm going to try first, and I give myself 15 casts. I'm like, I'm 15, 20 casts. Like I'm doing this no matter what is the minimum, like pulling it slow. Then the next time, pulling real fast. The next time, varied. The next time, running as deep as I possibly can. Like the next time, waking it. Like, do not just cast it out and bring it back. Like you are going to miss fish, and you're not gonna figure out. You're not gonna get them really dialed. You'll look in the fish, and you'll think you're doing it right. I guarantee you're passing right over something. So that's the only thing with square bill, because they're so fun and it's just easy to do. You can miss quite a bit if you're not really conscious about like fishing it right. Well, I say right. The fishing it. At least finding like the best way for that day.
Which is why you should also try what probably is your top bait for spring and fall and has become mine, but you take this one.
It's got to be the jerk bait.
You own it.
I got to be the jerk bait. I like a lot of different jerk baits. I think the only ones that I don't like are the really big ones that are heavy. I do not like a super heavy jerk bait. Maybe in a pink color, or one that sinks straight to the bottom of the freaking ocean. I like ones that are I like them made out of wood. The plastic ones can be fine as long as they got some air in them and they suspend a little bit. The reason I like like a lighter jerkbait that does like a suspending, even if it's got like action or like a joint or whatever, is it's all about the pause. Yeah. When you can get it down to like 3 or 4 feet and just park it there, that is when, especially like really early or really late in the season, that's when you're going to get a fish. I remember Jeff and I went out. We were getting absolutely skunked. We saw another dude throwing a jerkbait. This was like maybe our second trip this year, first or second trip this year.
Oh, I still got skunked. Remember?
It was a.
You didn't.
Well, that's what I was getting to. We saw a dude like fishing with a jerkbait, caught a fish, and I was like, fine.
They were hammering them, and we were just like, what is happening?
Yeah.
It was the clearest water I had seen all year.
It was not deep. It was like 3 or 4 feet where we were. It was, but we were on new water. So I threw on jerkbait, and I was talking, like not fishing. I had, line out, and it was just like talking to Jeff. and then all of a sudden I was like, wait a minute, I'm supposed to fish. Gave it a quick jerk. I had a fish on, and that was just while it was just sitting there, and he was just kind of like chewing on it. It's just you can't fish a jerkbait incorrectly.
True. Like that massive pike, I was adjusting my position on the bank. So I was just like moving. I had my rod out. I was walking around this tree on like this point of this little peninsula that I was fishing. And I was just like, oh, just move over here. Oh my God. Like it's just there, dude. It's so nuts. Like I've definitely completely flip-flopped on jerkbaits this year, because last year, if you asked Paul, he would have told you that I don't fish them.
Nah, brah. Our
Like
pets.
he would be like jerk bait, and I'd be like, no.
That's
Even in
that,
April at that day, like I was
yeah.
just resisting the jerk bait so hard. But now I'm like, I'm sold. I just picked up a bunch. I'll pick up a bunch more. You guys keep telling me to buy this friggin' Mega Bass $25 gosh dang jerk bait, and I'm like, come on, dude.
Fine,
I just
but
bought a
also
bunch of
fine.
like Rapalas, Lucky Crafts,
I
and
like
Yozuris,
the
which are pretty dope
Yozuris.
too.
The Yozuris I've always been a fan of. There's always a few in my box. Rapala, I think does. I'm not sure it's second to none, but they do a really nice job
So
on the smaller size, the jointed ones.
mm,
And like that perch one is like my one of my all-time favorites. It's like
oh yeah,
that perch jerkbait, the 1.5 or 2 inch one. It's just an absolute
yeah,
destroyer. And
yeah.
again, we get fall and spring. I like to go natural, so I'm going like perch, bluegill. There, I will say my probably second favorite, and I don't know why this works, and I don't care. I just know that it works. The bright blue with an orange belly is a
Yes,
is a
yes.
slayer. I don't
Just
know why, but it is a slayer.
it's so good.
So yeah.
Love it. What's the
Last
last one?
last
New
last
water?
scenario, to be quick, is when you get to new water, what's your go-to when you're like, all right, I don't know anything about this place. What am I gonna do here?
Literally no clue. I have like the Quattro setup. So I'll have uh a like spinnerbait, chatterbait. I'll have a crankbait, mid diving, like 10 foot-ish range, right? 8 to 10, something like that. And then square bill. And then I will have a bottom, something on bottom, usually a jig or a like a shaky head. And I think I do it that way because I'm like, all right, I've literally no concept of this. We're mapping it as we go. I'm like, I want something set up. And now we usually carry like 6 setups now. So I probably have more than that. I'll have also a Ned rig and also something else. So like maybe 2 crankbaits, one, mid and one deep diving. And that way you're covering literally every ounce of water that you possibly could. If it's summer, I might have a top water on like the frog and rod, whatever. But like you've got everything you need for any scenario. And I just want to grab a rod and like give it, like Paul said earlier, 10, 15 casts. And like that didn't work. Move down. So I'll go top to bottom or bottom to top, kind of depending on the time of the year. It changes up here and there. And sometimes I just want to get weird with it and say like going bottom all day, whatever. But that way you're covering water. So I guess it's not one or two baits, it's like 6 baits when I go to new water, and I have like just my quote unquote confidence of each one. So it'll be like a EWG Ned head with the Z-Man shirt turd, right? I'll have like the 6 Sense Crush 100X. I'll have the Grave Digger, right? The Berkeley Digger 8.5. I'll have, like just my go-tos that you guys have heard us talk about on favorite baits episodes and stuff like that. I have literally like my favorites of each of those because I'm going on new water. It's scary. It's different. I've never been here and like I want to be successful. So you get all that pressure you're building up. So you're just like 6 confidence baits instead of 2. The funny thing for us though is like lately it's been box fishing, right? So you
Yeah,
just you get only what's in Monster Bass. You get only what's in 6 cents. And you're like,
have
well,
fun.
hope it's good. But the funny thing about that is like it seems like it challenges us. It's actually kind of fun. I was definitely nervous about committing myself to it for sure because I'm like, great, now I'm never gonna have a good fishing day. But it's almost more fun to catch them on weird novelty baits sometimes. It's just different.
It is way more gratifying to have success than when you fish the same 3 baits all year.
Right. I mean, you can just plug them from time to time, but I really do like being able to shake it up and try new things with these boxes. So that does make it fun. That's why I'm like happy to be in this niche, keep getting fishing subscription boxes and torturing yourself on the water to figure it out.
Oh yeah, I
What is the
think
Batwing? What are you saying, Chaz? What's the Batwing? Remember the Batwing from MB? Oh, the Savage Bat?
the Savage Gear, the 3D.
Yeah, they did. See, That's a miss in my books, but only because we've fished the what's the chase baits one? The
Yeah,
smuggler.
the smuggler.
Boop, 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 boop.
Yeah, oh my god.
The R2D2 bait.
That thing is nuts. I still
Oh,
cannot wait to catch like an entire boat on that. It's freaking
someday, literally. No, Mike the Pike's still in the package shot. So also, fantastic subscriber sent us some baits
sweet.
this
Marlon
week.
hooked
Good
it
reminder.
up.
So Marlon from First Response Fishing hooked us up with a Mike the Pike because Paul kept talking about it like 4 or 5 episodes in a row. Hey, just keep
My guy.
talking about stuff you like, and then maybe
Yeah.
it's cool.
I
to
really
send
like
it.
brand new setups.
Yeah.
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 I really like fishing augers. Yeah, for sure. Ice fishing augers, definitely. I like
Electric idea.
I like Ranger boats, 21 foot.
Wow. Anyways,
Yeah.
yeah. So he sent us Mike the Pike, and then also like a big musky Meps, like the
Gigantor.
big old Meps, black and orange. So he's challenging us to go musky fishing, and I just had a company send me a gigantic wake bait that I can't throw on any gear that I have from Akuma. So yeah. We gonna see. We gonna see. Chaz is saying, I have all the setups, and we're saying, whatever, Chaz. Like we know that. So we
Tell me
gotta get
less.
some.
Tell me less.
We gotta get some like swim bait musky setups. I think
Yep.
that's a challenge. All right, so I'm gonna close out with a quick story for you guys. I promise you guys we're gonna start reading fishing stories. I also want to host your pictures. So remember, tag us on Instagram and Facebook. It's at BurlyFishing, and send your stories to podcast, no other S, at burlyfishing.com. That's how I say it. Oh, yeah. Chaz has a great point. If I didn't mention your story this week, I'm saving them. We have a Google Drive. We're a real business with Big Boy Pants, and we put stuff in folders. And then I can come back to it at a later date, and we'll read it on a future episode. Here's the way we're going to play it, though, because I don't want to like try to read it and be like, I don't understand this. We're just going to bullet point these things. And I also don't want to read to you guys like it's a campfire chat or something. I just want to share the gist of these stories, enough meat that you get the idea. So for this and all future episodes, and I started this last week actually, I'm just going to give you the general bullet points, the Cliff's Notes, if you will. All right. So let's get after this. So this story this week comes from a guy named Mike who goes by Terrible at Fishing. And I think that name will make more sense here in a second. So, but I think we can all embody this exactly. Like I've literally lived this day. So here we go. Guy had a really rough day. It's a rough day story. So Mike has health issues. He's had pulmonary embolism. He needs an oxygen tank for safety purposes to make sure that he can breathe and live. Right now, picture this: you have an oxygen tank. You're in questionable health at this time. You want to go on a big old river float. So you board an inflatable pontoon boat on a gigantic river, the Williamson River. And you got one trolling motor battery. So he's traveling down the river. He's having a good old time. But wait, he wants to fish. He forgot his tackle box in the car. This day is just getting better. So what does our boy do? He fishes with what he's got. He's got minimal gear. Okay, so at first he's like, and this is where I'm like, I've lived this trip. I've done this. You're like literally 1/10 of the way into your trip, and you're just like casting, and then you realize it's the afternoon. At some point, that sunshine, it's gonna be gone. So you got to get the heck out of here. So homeboy starts cruising. His battery level goes to critical, and it's like overheating and dying. His trolling motor battery dies when he hits a shallow spot on like Oregon's biggest lake, and he has to paddle about a mile to get anywhere near the shore to try to call for help. He encounters a hiker. This hiker's name is Nathan. He calls this guy's daughter, Mike's daughter, and they call 911. Okay, so now we're trying to get help. He's still stuck on the water. And he actually, I'm not going to share this recording. I don't think it's part of his YouTube video, but he says he recorded his last will and testament on video while he was stuck out there. Because he did have his camera the whole time, you guys. And I'm going to link his YouTube video for this entire trip in the description. So if you want to go check it out, I watched it. It's an hour and 16 minutes long. Have you ever seen 127 Hours with James Franco? It's like that, but he doesn't cut his arm off. But anyways, it's just a perilous.
Or does he?
Or does he? Sorry, spoiler alert. You'll have to
Can't
watch
confirm or deny.
So anyways, they get a hold of, they get on a 911 dispatch, calls the sheriff. Sheriff comes out. Sheriff's name's Darren. He's a nice guy. Tows our boy Mike to the ramp. Mike lives, obviously, he sent me the story. But this is just like a crazy story that I literally have lived through multiple versions of this in my life. I don't know how I'm here today. I don't know how I achieved this great age of 32. But here we are, and we're still trying to move. Somehow this worked out for me. But I can appreciate a story like this. So again, you don't have to send us just bangers like, ooh, the fish of a lifetime. I do want to hear those stories, don't get me wrong. But it better be the gosh dang fish of a lifetime. Don't send me like a 3-pounder changed my life or some nonsense. I'm from the north and I get that. Send me like, why was it a game changer? Or send me this disaster story, or send me something crazy unique. Like you found
like you found a murder island while you were out fishing?
Murder Island. If you found multiple seagull bodies and then
it was goose corpses. It was geese corpses left and right. I could not do a somersault without nudging a corpse.
We fished a campground that has this island, and there was just seagull bodies just littered this island. And I was like, man, is this like, I'd gone there with my family before. I was like, all right, what is here? There's like a puma, a mountain lion, some bear, like it's swimming this island and just eating it. We're paddling away. We just see a giant bald eagle coming down, and we're like, oh, freedom is being free, and it's just eating the gulls. It's
unreal.
Fantastic. So yeah, hey guys, send us your stories, podcast@burlyfishing.com. And again, if we don't feature it on a recent episode or like right after you send it, don't be sad. We'll catch up. And eventually, if we have to like do 2 a week, we'll do that. I would love to do 2 a week. Again, I'm just going to bullet point them and read them in our own words. And if we do 2 a week, Paul's going to read one. So we'll have some fun. And yeah, I want to hear more. So send them on in. All right. Cool. That's it. Thanksgiving time. This is being posted Thursday night. You're in a coma. We'll be in a coma. Oh, did I read the Facebook questions? No, of course not.
No, you didn't. Thanks, Charles.
All right. Lightning round. This is why Chaz gets the big bucks, aka I send him hats every 3 months. Did Paul just look up like, hang on a second. Like, I don't get paid for this show. Because you're the camera guy and he's the producer. The producer's above the camera guy. Everybody knows that. All right. So on Facebook, Brad Park asks several questions. So we got to keep short answers. Promise me we're going to do it. What's the one bait, lure, jig, rig, whatever? These are all backslashed, I promise you. You've never tried but always wanted to. Go, pick one. Any lure. Any lure never tried but always wanted to.
That's a really good question, actually.
Chaz is legit licking his lips right now. He is waiting for your answer. He demands it. Just say what Chaz wants you to say.
I'm not. You want me to say swim bait?
Yeah, of course he does. That was what I was going to say. And I have one right there, and I want to go fish it very soon. Oh, yeah, the bull shads? The bull shads are on sale.
I don't know. I need to. It might be a swim bait. Okay, I've got one. So for muskie, I've never used one of those like baby squid that like a chopped hot dog style down the middle.
Oh, what are those called? Medusa.
With the big curly tails in the back. But those things, the ones that weigh like 4 ounces, I've never used one. I really want to use one of those. And I've like, I at our place in Canada, it's at like, they're at every gas station. You can go, they're sweet, but they're like $30. And I was like, yeah, man, I would never want to. I've used swim baits before. I have a swim bait route at the cottage for casting out like a mile and trying to catch the muskies as they're coming across. But I've never used one of those big old chew toys. I'd like to throw one of those.
Yeah, I think we're on the same page. I would love to throw that, the giant inline spinners, just big baits, big swim baits, stuff like that. Yeah, that was a great question.
An awesome question.
All right. Chaz, are we fixed? Heck yeah,
Yay!
bro. Here we go. Are you sure? Whatever. We're rolling with this.
We're
Guys,
rolling.
I'm invisible. I am all seeing, omniscient. All right, here we go.
Tell me
I
more
don't
about
care.
Facebook questions.
Blinking, blinking, blinking. All right, so what's the one blah blah blah, same as above, you never had luck with but still throw just in case?
The
live bait ball?
gosh darn live
Live
target
target?
bait ball. Oh
Yeah,
my
agreed.
God. I've thrown
You
that
guys.
bait at least 3,000 times, and all I've caught is
Never
weeds.
caught
That's it.
anything.
That's it.
And I am exactly the same because we have literally both tied them on and we're like, don't stop, just go, and we just cast forever. It was always in the boat. I don't even know where it is. I think I threw it away.
I have to get out of the boat because I'll just keep throwing it. I won't catch anything. It's finally out.
She gone. So that's the one. All right,
Good
last
question.
one. So that was Brad Park. We got James Werner here saying, hey Jeff, what is the one fish that keeps eluding you? Mine is the damn muskie. Had one this summer, but my line broke as soon as I got it close to the dock. So, I mean, if it's casting, I do have a lake near me that's a musky lake, so I could say it's musky for casting because I've quote unquote tried to catch them. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm terrible at that stuff. So it's that, or it's a pike on a fly fishing.
You're not going to say carp?
I have never fished for them. So it's not one that eludes me. It's one that I've literally snagged on accident like 4 or 5 times in the river just because water levels are low and you're fishing a square bill and they're just dumb and they sit there, but they run past me all the time. I do want to fish for them. So if it was a different question, like what is a fish you haven't fished for, and it's absurd, say
garpike.
And it's absurd because you live in Michigan, it's carp.
Like garpike.
Yes, also that. Definitely want that. Well, one day when Canada opens its big, white, awesome doors and lets us in, that'd be super great. We can go up to the snowy north again. But yeah, all we did was talk like all year about one day going to your cabin.
Oh, God, I know.
You know it'd be great footage, Paul? Is if we went
something we'll never get to do. 2021.
It's so close and yet so far because it's just across the friggin' lake.
I don't care if this is taking too long. Legit. People, I swear, are like so done with 2020. Like everyone is like, Christmas. I need Christmas to come tomorrow. And like everyone's like setting up their Christmas house, like their lights, their trees. Like it's all, my entire neighborhood Christmased out.
Like, already did it.
I'm like the last holdout. Like me and like the guy across the street were like, no. I'm not going to do this. No, we're the only ones. Everyone else, like, I would drove through my neighborhood. I was like, this is ridiculous.
You have as a family, a hard post-Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah. But it's but everyone else, like, tossed that to the wayside, kicked it to the curb. They're like, nah, brah, 2020 needs to end now.
Oh, my gosh. So true. Oh, my God. I'm only doing this because this is the last thing and we're closing out. Somebody just posted a comment on Facebook, so we have to do it. So, all right. So Justin Osentoski nailed your name. I know I didn't. Favorite ice fishing jigs. I'm a big fan of Halley jigs, Hali, Halley jigs. Never used them. Paul, you go first. You've been ice fishing longer than me. What's your favorite ice jig?
So I'm not brand loyal to jigs at all. What are the Swedish ones? Oh, ska.
I know what you're talking about.
It's got I'm looking it up right now.
Logo?
Not that one.
No.
No. I know what one you're talking about. Those are the fancy ones. The Sitka ones. And then the other ones, you can get them anywhere, but Northland Tackle makes fine ones. But Sitka, I really like. There's also like some Moon brand that I get at like the gas station that's near me that are really good. I will say it is worth it to pay for tungsten. I know it seems insane to pay like another $1.10 or whatever it is for tungsten, but the reason I say that, they show up way better because it's more dense metal. They show up way better on your transducer, so your sonar can see them way better.
Cheap codes.
And then you can actually go. I like to go super, super micro small with most of mine. The other one, the Gens square jigs, they're like cubed.
Yeah.
Hands
I know
down,
what you're talking about.
those are awesome jigs. They show up really well on sonar. I do think they're a little bit unique, and they hold the plastic pretty darn well. They have a little hook keeper bump on them. That's another one you can get anywhere. So those are probably my favorites.
Yeah,
but Sitkas are everywhere. Those are good.
Yeah, Sitkas. So the other brand you talk about is
cheapos.
No, exactly. There's like K&E Stopper is the one you're talking about. Moonjigs K&E Stopper brand is like the same one. So yeah, I mean, like you said, if it's lead, I don't care. If it's ideally tungsten, and then if you want to spend a lot of money, just go to the 13 fishing section at 640 goods.
My lord.
2 jigs is like $8, but yeah, I recently got some ice fishing stuff from MTB, and they sent me these pink, don't hate it though, but they're pink Widowmaker jigs, and I tested them out in the tank. They're pretty sweet. Paired up with the Frostbite plastics, that's like the AP Bassins brand.
Yeah,
they have insane action. If you guys haven't seen this, I posted this video Monday, which is the day we're recording this, so it's weird for me to talk about this, but go check it out. If you want to see ice fishing lures and jigs and plastics in action, watch that video. I did some underwater footage, but the Frostbite, everybody says it looks like a booger. It's like just long and green, but that tail, so finessey, so much action. I was in love.
The other thing too, and I don't know if you meant like specifically like jigs, like just jigs. If you didn't, the Swedish Pimple by Bay de Noc.
Let's talk about this Halley, which is like the Swedish Pimple. It's like a spoon with a chain to a single.
That is now. I used to
game now.
they used to have. There's a company out there. They stopped making them because they sold the company. They used to make, it was like I think it was Devil's Tongue or something like that. It was a little spoon shape, and then it had a cutout, like a circle cutout in the middle.
Yeah.
And then there was a little, like with the Swedish Pimple, it has like the little extra,
blade.
I don't know, like blade on it.
Yeah.
The blade was in the middle. Those were hands down, not even close, the best spoon I've ever used. The best jigging anything I've ever used. Pike, bass, crappie, bluegill, perch, like you name it, everything ate it. It was awesome. The company that made them stopped making them. They sold out. Then the other company that bought them doesn't make them anymore. I've hit ice fishing shows. I've hit tons of places trying to find them, cannot find them. The closest thing is the Swedish Pimple. They are not cheap, and that sucks.
Yeah.
They come in a lot of different sizes, unlimited colors, the Swedish Pimples do, but that is the closest thing, and I'm willing to pay for it. And I get bit off by pike on them all of the time, constantly. It sucks, but they work.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. They work so well. So that's probably, I don't know. I know it's not like a secret anymore. Like everyone knows about a Swedish Pimple. They're everywhere, but those are.
Yeah, they're
It is. Clam makes the David Gens square one.
Oh, okay.
That little tiny baby jig, that thing is sweet. I love those.
Yeah, so sorry we mixed up your question there, but I think we figured it out in the end. So we can't. It all comes full circle. All right, guys. So that's all we got for you for today. Again, we hope that you're having an awesome time with your family in whatever capacity you can meet with them, whether it's virtual, in person, if you're being safe. We hope everything's good. And we just want you to know we're thankful for y'all for letting us do this show. This is rewarding and fun, and we want to keep doing it for a long, long time. So we appreciate you. We hope you have a good time, and that, if you like the content, be sure to subscribe, maybe drop 5 stars on the podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all over the place. All right, guys, that's all we got. Chaz, take us out.
Also, thank you, Chaz.
Oh, Chaz, we're thankful for you, Chaz. This better be in the recording. Don't delete this part out. We want everybody to know that this show is possible because of Chaz, and that we're both selfish D-holes for not mentioning this until
Not all
the
of us,
very
just you, Jeff.
end. You didn't say anything till the end either. Whatever. Chaz, we appreciate you. Everybody show Chaz some love in the comments. You're awesome, man. Thanks for making the show possible. All right, guys. Now, Chaz, please, if you will, take us out.